I asked these guys this earlier. After the first 4 games, what do you think this team's identity is so far?
Justin, it's a good question. As you well know, the identity of a team can change throughout the season. I'll use last year as an example. Our non-conference year, was really about our offense, our ability to score and shoot. And we had guys coming in off the bench who didn't start, who could really shoot the three. Obviously, the firepower of Nico and Josh and Zeke as 3 newcomers. But by the time we got to the end, I wish we were overall better offensively, but we became an excellent defensive team, and some of our best moments came on the defensive side of the ball. With this year's team, because of how many new players we have, I think, it's fairly obvious that that identity could change as our year goes. But one thing I will tell you, I think our team this year has played with an edge to us. I think that we're really locked in on trying to be a better group, better team. We play 9 quality players, and on different nights, different players can step up and play well, whether it's scoring, shooting. You saw some of that tonight. But I can't say enough good things about James Akinjo. He is a tough kid. He's a very, very good competitor. Competitor isn't just on game night. It's what's he like every day. And, James loves this game. He practices hard. He sets the tone for us, both on offense and defense. And, I think his toughness and playing with the chip on his shoulder, it can be a contagious thing. So I do think that's part of our identity. Our young guys are fun to coach. They're eager to improve, and I believe they are improving.
And with a guy like James, can you tell, or is there anybody that you can see in practice or in games that James is constantly pushing? Is there a player that maybe benefits from James's competitiveness?
All of our guards, Kerr Kriisa in particular, when Kerr practices, and, he hasn't practiced in some time, but I believe he could be cleared by the end of the week. Kerr's an example. Terrell, Jamal, they're examples. And, James has that pit bull quality to him. You feel it. He loves the big moment. He competes. He loves to play the game. Tonight, we had some really good transition opportunities, and he was instrumental in almost all of them. 7 assists and 2 turnovers. I thought he did a good job really finding his teammates tonight.
Next question, Steve Rivera, Fox Sports 1450.
Yeah, Sean, I hope this is not the same question that Justin asked you originally, but what's the most thing you like about this team, the best thing you like about this team? Because there's a lot to like.
I think what I said is, we have quality depth. We have a group that I think will really improve as the year goes on, but we play with an edge to us, on defense, on offense. When you watch this against Grambling, you might have scratched your head and saying, where are we going to score? But as you can see, our offense is smoothing. It's smoother. We move the ball easier, and that should happen simply because playing games with practice now, we have a much better chance to improve, and that's what we're doing. We're a better team tonight than we were when we started playing games 4 games ago. The key is, can we continue to grow in the next couple of weeks as we head towards Christmas and the end of our non-conference season and the beginning of a very good Pac-12 season?
It's clear the team likes to shoot from the perimeter. You must like that, and they're shooting it very well.
Yeah, I think we try to look at it like all coaching staffs. Are they good shots? Are they shots taken by the right people? Are we moving the ball? Are the 3-point shots we're taking a function of our offense? And, tonight we really did share the ball well. Dalen Terry is a unique player too. He plays all over the place, and, he's a pass-first player. He's looking to get his teammates involved. I think he's also a really tough guy and a competitor, plays both ends, and I've been really impressed with his work ethic. Ben Mathurin and Dalen Terry and Azuolas Tubelis maybe combined have missed a single day since the beginning of the school year. I mean, they show up every day and work at it. And, it's really gratifying to see because those guys, they trusted us. They came here. We didn't have a summer. Nobody did. And we're really utilizing this fall period of time and now the month of December to keep improving. And, Dalen, for example, he's in the gym whenever he's able to be in the mornings with Jason Terry. I mean, those guys, he shoots between 6 and 7 a.m., 4 or 5 days a week. They're constantly working after practice, before practice. And I think that's another really good quality of our team, that they love the game. They like to be around each other. And you could probably feel that a little bit when you watch them play.
Thank you.
Next question, Bruce Pasco, Arizona Daily Star.
Well, Sean, you answered a lot of it there. I was going to say, I assume you're pretty happy with your assist to makes ratio. I think it was 21 to 27 tonight, and that ball movement. I wonder if there's anything else maybe in that process, because you have so many new guys. I wondered if maybe you thought this would take a while to get to where guys were as comfortable with each other, or was there anything about the off season, or again, maybe because of what you're talking about with work ethic? How is this coming together?
Yeah, I mean, Bruce, stating the obvious, we still are very much a work in progress. I was watching my brother's team, Indiana, play Florida State. If we were in Tallahassee tonight, we might not look nearly as good, obviously, right? So, we're taking advantage of being here in Tucson. We're taking advantage of hard and good practices, and we've had a good stretch of health. Hopefully that can continue. And we have a group of guys that I do believe are improving. We've had some very good practices, through the quiet months of September and October. And I feel that way right now, that although we have a lot of new faces, I think we're moving in a positive direction. That's the one thing that I'm confident in saying. We're moving in a positive direction. We're better today than we were a week ago.
And you mentioned, I think you mentioned when you were talking about Kerr briefly, that you thought he might be cleared by the end of the week. And I was wondering, you guys gotten any feedback from the NCAA or your own compliance office? Are documents finally figured out, or where does it stand, I guess?
No, we don't have any update in terms of his amateurism ability. But from a COVID perspective, he's coming down the home stretch here of being fully cleared. As you know, playing in the FIBA championship that he did, he was tested there every single day as well. So it's not as if he got away from that. And right now we're towards the end of quarantine, and it's nice to have him back. He's a great kid, obviously a very good player, somebody that our team loves to be around. And, he makes our practices very competitive because, not only is he a quality player, but he competes. He's a great competitor.
Okay, I just want to make clear what you were referring to. But yeah, it's still, you'll have him back maybe in practice by Friday or something. And
hopefully by the weekend. That's obviously not my call.
Okay, thanks.
Next question, Ryan Calipier, AZ Desert Swarm.
Yeah, I was just wondering how sustainable you think your pace is that you guys are playing at. Your possession length is the lowest it's ever been. And even tonight, you guys are playing a team that's known for slowing the game down, and you were still really able to push the ball.
Yeah, we've always wanted to push it. Back to my point, we're really early on here. As games move forward, sometimes your pace tends to settle in, and I'm sure some of that will happen. But we want to run off of defensive stops. We want to be fast into our offense. Our guys are doing a good job of that right now. We had some great possessions off of missed shots, block shots, steals, and some of those possessions led to 3-point shooting. So hopefully we can keep that up.
Next question, Jason Barr, K-Gun.
Coach, in previous years, you might be expected to beat a mid-major team by 20 points or so. But with all the uncertainty in college basketball and the new players and all the upsets that we've seen so far, does that make these wins a little bit more meaningful than maybe some of the early season wins in years past?
Yeah, I mean, Jason, for sure. Obviously we want to win. We want to play our best. It is really unique playing in McKale without our fans. I don't have to say it. I think everybody feels that we really miss having our fans. I mean, it's just 14,000, the great crowds that we've had. It's like we're at the point now when we watch clips from a year ago and, sometimes early in the season, you refer back to a year ago. It looks strange to see a packed house, but we look forward to that day down the road. But, right now, our guys are playing a good brand of basketball. They're unselfish. I believe that you can't question our effort level. And, we make a ton of mistakes. But what's been fun to watch is we seem to make less of those mistakes and errors as we've played more games. I'll give you an example. Terrell Brown, one of the things we love about him is he's really good with the basketball, 6 assists and no turnovers. So if you have James Akinjo and him out there together, that's 13 assists between two players. Jamal Baker, although he's a very good shooter, he's very good with the ball in his hands, takes care of it, a good passer, combo guard. And then I talked about Dalen Terry. So, I think you watch us play, I hope you could continue to see the ball move and us share it and make good plays. Some of that you saw tonight where it wasn't just one player, a point guard. It was a lot of different players being unselfish. And when you're unselfish and, you have a good group, those guys will continue to grow and improve. And, it'll be interesting to watch us play against UTEP. They have some very good players. That becomes our 5th game in a short window of time. Our guys academically right now are being challenged because this is a home stretch of the first semester. So they have a lot going on in their world, and hopefully we can keep moving in the direction that we're moving in.
Next question back to Steve Rivera.
Yeah, Sean, it's obvious you've had some great teams over the years you've been here. This team, to me, is deceivingly very athletic. You have 7-footers who can run. You have wings that can stretch, guards who are very athletic. Is that true? And what are your thoughts on that?
We do. Dalen Terry and Ben, those guys are very young. They're 18 years old, but in their own right, they're different. But, Dalen's wingspan is 7'1". He's not a small guy. He keeps getting stronger. And, Ben, ditto for him. He's got a big wingspan and a strong body, athletic body. So, those two guys at the wing position give us great size. I think the one thing about our 3 guards, Jamal Baker, Terrell Brown, and James Akinjo, they're not young. They're physically strong. And then obviously we have our 4 big guys, Christian Coloco, who brings a shot blocking mentality. And Christian, this is the best game that he's played. He's had 8 shot blocks combined in the last 2 games. And, those are 8 blocks that lead to us getting the ball. So, you guys knew this a year ago when you watched Christian, but he's another one of these young players that just needs game experience. And the more experience that he gets, I think the better player that he'll become.
Thanks. Sorry about that. Sean, you mentioned a little bit about Terrell, and I was just wondering in general, with his mentality, it seems like he, a guy who was so prolific a scorer last year for them in Seattle, and then coming off the bench on this team, and then alternating between assist and providing a lot of scoring when it needs it. I mean, how did you transition him into that role, or and how has that gone?
Well, first of all, Terrell has played for some excellent coaches. His coach at Seattle U, in my mind, is one of the best offensive basketball minds in our game. He was very helpful towards Terrell making his decision to pursue the graduate transfer route. And as he described Terrell to our staff, and obviously Jason Terry's known Terrell for a long, long time. He has these amazing characteristics of a winner, unselfish, very mild-mannered off the court, does what you ask of him on the court. And that's what he's done since he's come here. and it's nice to have him out there because he can generate shots for both Jamal, and then we can move James Akinjo off the ball, and he can create some scoring opportunities for James. But, part of what we want to do is help Terrell continue to develop as a player. And, tonight he's not a guy who shoots a lot of threes, but he's been working around the clock on his 3-point shooting with our coaching staff. And tonight it really showed up. It was good to see him step in with confidence and make those 3-point shots.
And finally, you mentioned UTEP a little, and obviously you haven't scouted them yet, but I know you played them early in Rodney Terry's first year there, and I didn't know if you remembered anything about that game or anything you expect him to bring with this team on Saturday.
I think Rodney's teams at Fresno and at UTEP, they play hard, they play physical. Bakersfield does the same thing under Rod Barnes. And, I probably need to just say we really appreciate Bakersfield coming to play us. It's not easy right now to play these non-conference games. We respect their program quite a bit, and he's an excellent coach, and they have a very good program. But UTEP, they're talented. They got a couple individual players that have a chance to play beyond college basketball, maybe even in the NBA. And Rodney does a good job. They play with great energy and effort, and and I think they might be the most talented group that we faced this year when they show up and play here on Saturday.